Lads, welcome back to Fusion YGO. Patrick, back again. And today we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. And I'm grabbing my drink because it's that time. We're going to be talking about all the changes that Konami has recently released about what the game is going to be like going forward, my thoughts on it, and everything under the sun. We're just going to have a little conversation. So let's go ahead and dive right in to the conversation. So first things first, no more regular rares. This is a nice, warranted change. I think that really helps with the short printing problem that we will talk about in a little bit. But without rares, it's just common, super, ultra, and secret, which is more in line with other card games. So most of them have common, uncommon, rare, and then whatever the last one is. Sometimes they have a fourth. So for us, it's going to be common, uncommon is the super rare, ultra rare is the rare, and then the secret rare is like the, oh my gosh. And then the specialty rarity or is our equivalent of the full art, which we should have at some point. Anyway, irrelevant. Could happen. We don't know yet, but I think it's really cool that Konami is addressing the issue of rares. Instead of it being rares in a pack, it's just 8 commons and a super, ultra, or secret. That's great. Fine by me. In the main sets, I think that's a good idea. No more wasted print on, oh, this card is just going to be slightly harder to pull because we only print so many rares. Okay, just make it common. It's fine. So that's pretty cool. I think that's a great thing for the game moving forward, that we have no more rares and it's only supers. Next up is we're not getting the Rush Duel or whatever it's called, which is fine. I don't know many people inside of the Speed Duel community. I know some people that play it and that care about it and that really enjoy it, but I'm not one of those people. I'll play it. It's been on the channel. I'm sure that I'll do them again. It's just not a format that I am super passionate about. And I don't know many people, or any people actually, that are super passionate about playing in speed duels, which is fine. But they want to sell their product. Okay. I have no fight in that dog, so it doesn't matter to me, ultimately, at the end of the day. So my opinion on it is moot, because it doesn't affect me. So that's where I'm going to keep the Rush Duels not coming here. No more short prints. I don't think anybody believes that until we see it. And the reason we don't believe it is because, and this isn't a negative criticism of Konami. I mean, it's going to sound that way and you just take it as it is, but they've never said outright that there were short prints. We've always known. As a community, we've pretty much figured that out. But now they're admitting to, so how do I put this? As a business practice, I think it's brilliant what they're doing. They're addressing, okay, they're not just saying, oh, we have a problem. Instead of saying, oh, we have a problem, they're saying, okay, we acknowledge that this problem exists. We've been working on figuring it out, and this is the solution we came to. I hope the community, I hope you guys as the player base and the community enjoy it. I think it's great. I don't like that they dodged that a lot. They avoided that question entirely, but now they're addressing it head on. They've changed it up, and they've not only addressed it as like, oh yes, this problem exists, they've addressed it and given a solution, which is something that's really helpful, and it's a really illuminating, it's a very positive step forward for the TCG and for the player base in general. I think that's fantastic. Now it's just make staple cards lower rarity and make it more accessible. That would be a dream come true for not only budget players, but for entry-level play as well. Like, okay, I want to come in and play this game again. I have to spend how much money? And they don't control the secondary market, so this is partially on Konami, but overall it's on us as the community for spending this much money on cardboard. Making it lower rarity and making it more accessible through not short printing like they've said they are not going to do, great. Well, making it more accessible and the fact that, you know, you're pretty much guaranteed to get some in the case. Cool, that's great. I think that's fantastic. And another Starfoil rare. So it's not called Prismatic, it's called Starfoil rare now. They've officially named it, which is cool. I like the name. It's kind of Starfoily. I think that's awesome that they've given it an official name. They've got a plan moving forward. They know what they're doing. It seems like they're, this year, like 2019 was kind of like the rebuild year. Because 2018 was as far as the competitive scene, was a disaster. And I don't say that, I say that kind of negatively because we had a lot of FTKs that we just did not address the problem in Firewall Dragon. We just didn't address it. Now they're addressing the problems. I don't necessarily agree with the ban list itself, and that's fine, but it is seeming like a hard reset. So let's talk about Konami. Let's take away the rares, you know, cool. No rush duels, fine, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Admitting to the short printing problem and offering a solution, fantastic. There should be no short prints in main series sets. Side sets, sure, whatever. But in the main sets, there shouldn't be any short prints. It should be easily accessible to get the cards you want by buying a case. If you buy a case, you should be able to get every card out of that set in play sets. You should. That's just how it should operate. But now we're in a point where things are different. Konami has done a lot to bolster this community in a positive light. So let's go back to 2018 and let's just talk about how the game has changed and evolved since January of 2018 to today. That's a full 2 years. It's a lot of time. So in 2018, we started the year, I believe, with Spiral. Tier 0 Spiral. That was fun. And right after Tier 0 Spiral, we had another really fun deck in Pendulum FTK. And that was the beginning of the end. We had Goki, the full U-Link, Goki Extra Link with no cards in hand, which was essentially an FTK. After Goki Extra Link, we had Danger Dark World FTK, and then Slash Draw FTK. And they finally realized, okay, Firewall Dragon, gone, done, mission accomplished. And we didn't have a lot of consistent FTKs after that, where we didn't have the Goki U-Link board anymore. Goki pretty much died with the banning of Firewall Dragon. They didn't have anything in the main archetype. They just said Firewall Dragon, done. Mission accomplished. Headshot. So, cool. Then we started 2019, and 2019 was the start. We had the Rongo Bongo thing, the Rongo Turbo, which was also addressed rather quickly in the January ban list. Awesome. That was a necessary hit. We needed to hit Rongo. They hit the problem too, which was a sign that they were starting to realize we need to hit the problem cards and not cards around it. We need to worry less about trying to sell the product, and this is how I saw it as a player viewing it from the company perspective. We need to stop addressing the things around it and actually hit the problems. And that's what they did. They hit Rongo because it was a problem. Then later in the year, Striker was becoming a problem and had been around for over a year, and it was getting really annoying to play. So they hit Hornet Drones, they hit Multi-Roll, they hit Widow Anchor throughout that year. So they really started hitting problem cards within the archetype, and we'll get to January 2020. So that's through last year. Orchist, or Salamangreat, it took up 42% of the meta in 4 months of activity. Came out in February, and from January to June, the end of the NAWCQs and everything, all the WCQs, through that time, it took up about 42% of the meta. They hit Gazelle to 1 and Circle to 1. Boom. Headshot. Leveled it out. Orchist became splashable. Everybody was running it, so they hit Mermaid. Later in the year, they hit Mermaid. They hit Rusty Bardiche, which needed to get hit, needs to stay banned. They hit Phantom Knight's rank up launch because Azathoth was becoming a problem. But they didn't think nobody was using Gnarla to get into Azathoth. We'll get to January 2020's ban list. So they started hitting things around Orcust and hitting the direct line because the pure Orcust deck wasn't seeing a lot of play. It was splashed into everything. Which, I mean, if you look back at this channel, I've played Orcust and a lot of weird stuff. And everybody was. It worked. Then once we hit Mermaid, it was Lunalight Orcust, Pure Orcust, and then Sky Striker Orcust were the three main Orcust variants. We had Pure Sky Striker still floating around. We had Salamangrate still popping around. We had Thunder Dragon still popping around. True Draco Sky Striker still popping around. We had just a bunch of different decks coming around and topping and doing great, just amazing in events. So January 2020 comes. So they've been hitting the problems. Whatever we deem, we are on the same page. We're hitting the problem cards. January 2020 comes. They hit things that were not even really problem cards. They just said, "Nah, we're not gonna play games. We're resetting the format. We're getting ready for the Master Rule 4 revision. So we as a company have decided we're gonna move 32 cards." That's my problem with it. Is that it's so massive. It destroyed people's investments. Whether it be in sealed product or secondary market, it's destroying the player base's investment by hitting everything this aggressively. Hitting Electromite and Servant, what was Pendulum doing? There was one FTK. And you hit Tempest Magician, so you hit Pendulum 3 different ways. Whether it be directly through Servant or Electromite and Tempest Magician. But it's completely playable. It's fine. Whatever. Thunder Dragon, which has been around for a while, and Pendulum's been around forever, so it's like it makes sense. It's just we didn't get anything really back to change up the way these decks are being played. So, how do I put this? I like and I dislike the list. I think Red Reboot and Pankratops are obviously getting limited, so people feel obligated to buy Lightning Storm. And to buy the main series set, Ignition Assault. Which is fine, but after the product sells in March, bring them back. Or at least bring Pankratops to 2, fine. Red Reboot should be at 3. Because it's taking away the people's ability to go second. Mind Control going from 3 to 2. Okay, but that's kind of a weird hit to me. I don't understand it. Tour Guide of the Underworld, I actually predicted. I thought that was pretty cool that I actually called that one. I thought that might come back. Give a bolster to BA. I think the ban list should be hit the problem card or cards, whatever the main problem is, hit the problem and bring stuff back so you're not don't just cripple the deck. Bring stuff back so people can play something different. They brought a lot of stuff back, but they didn't bring anything back that's super relevant. They could have brought back Double Iris Magician. It wouldn't have changed anything for Pendulum. They're not going to play the Pendulum Magician engine. They're not. Because you hit, Servant's gone. Ooh, it's down to 1. Electromite's gone. So their ability to grind is a little different. It's a little harder, but, bring Double Iris back to 1. Bring Astrograph back to 1. Shake it up a little bit. True Draco, you limited Diagram, cool. When the Diagram limited to 1, bring Masterpiece back to 1. Consistently bring that thing out. Give True Draco player something. I feel gross saying that. We hit Into the Void, which is fine. I think they should have gone a different route. Keep Into the Void at 3 and bring Upstart Goblin back to 3. Reprint it in a side set. There you go. Make your money back. You're going to make your money on it. You may as well. These are my opinions, and I'm not criticizing them negatively for it. I think Konami has done a really good job. I think this ban list shows that they're really trying to reinvigorate the community because 2018 was so abysmal. 2019, people felt it was very stale because there were 4 decks that pretty much dominated the whole year. Mind you, those 4 decks had just shook a lot. Thunder Dragon was a top deck for 5 months where it was the best deck in the format. Sky Striker had a point in time where it was the best deck in the format at the beginning of the year. Then it went to Thunder Dragon. Then it was then it was Salamangreat. Then it was Thunder Dragon and Salamangreat, and then it was Orcust, and then it maintained Orcust for about 6 months, where Orcust was by leaps and bounds the best deck. And that's a lot of change. And now we're going to take all 4 of those decks, and we're going to, take Thunder Dragon, we're going to take a hammer, we're going to bash its knees in, and then we're going to go Salamangreat, and we're just going to, we'll break your elbow. And then we go to Sky Striker, and we chop off its head, and then we go to Orcust, and we, no. Orcust is still going to be one of the best decks. And I think Konami has shown, TCG as a whole, this is Europe, everywhere, they've done a really good job of shaking things up. And I didn't like the ban list, but last week was not a good week for me personally. So I was a little harsh on my criticisms. But looking at it now, this is a good thing. From a business standpoint, I don't agree with hitting everything as aggressively as they did. But you know what? From a player-based standpoint, I think this is good. I think it's really going to reinvigorate the community into, let's get creative for 3 months. Really enjoy a 3-month format where it's lots and lots of control decks. And then Master Rule Revision hits, and we're going to shake things up again. This could be one of the best years. This has the potential to be the start of one of the best years in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! That we've ever had. It has all this upside. It is up to us as a player base and Konami as the company to not screw it up. Konami's giving us the tools right now to have a great format. Let's not screw it up. True Draco is no longer a threat, so, whew. So, let's have some fun. Let's look to the future. Let's work on what we got now. Let's have a lot of fun, because that's what this game is all about. Having fun, meeting people, winning tournaments, opening packs, all that good stuff. Your creativity. So let's bring it out of the forefront. Let's really get into this. And let's see if we can get the TCG to actually live stream their YCSs this year. That would be the icing on the cake for me. I want to see North America actually live stream their events. If Konami does that, you killed it. 2020 is a success. We have all this upside. Konami, for you, your only goal is to knock it out of the park. All you got to do is line it up. It's a fastball. It's right down the middle of the pitch. Just right down there. All you got to do is swing as hard as you can to hit that ball out of the park. Do it. Because you've proven that you're listening. Do it. You can kill this. To the player base, don't be a degenerate. Play the game, have some fun, make it interactive. And that's going to be it. Guys, these are my thoughts on the beginning of 2020. It's not all doom and gloom. No, no, no. It's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. But until then, like this video, comment with your thoughts on how Konami's doing so far into 2020, and subscribe. Our goal is still 1,000. So help me get there, help us get there, and let's continue playing a lot of fun Yu-Gi-Oh!